let's talk about material choices for ski ropes. Now, we're not talking trunk lines, we're not talking leader lines, and we're not talking boat harnesses. Those are totally separate videos. This is just for the average rope that we're going to use for show skiing, to go back to the skiers, and the different choices that we have. Alongside me here are a pile of samples. This was done up for the rope making clinic at Think Tank. And obviously you're not going to be able to read all these tags here, but I'll kind of give an explanation of which each one is, some pros and cons of each one, and some recommendations. Let's get started with stuff, and let's just talk about what is the one choice above all others that you should use. And really, to me, it is, right now it's show ski tack as of the recording of this video. If I had to go onto a team and they said, you know, we have to make some new pyramid ropes, we have to make a bunch of barefoot ropes, we need to make some new swivel line ropes, I would go and order up 5,000 feet of show ski tack right now. Or if that's unavailable, the closest thing is a polyethylene product. And the one that you want is, this is just poly-E generic here, but then there's also HDPE, which is high density polyethylene. So some hallmarks of that, show ski tack, same thing. Obviously a poly-E product. It tends to be a little bit on the denser side. The weave is a little denser. The fiber that's in here is our best that we have right now, availability for low stretch and maintaining that stretch. And that's the key. It maintains its stretch. Now, it doesn't mean that it's perfect. You know, back in the day, we had this stuff. This is one of my last remaining scraps of what was called Jap tack back in the day, and this was from the early 2000s. And so this stuff was amazing because you would stretch it once and it would stay stretched, and it made it much, much easier to make ropes. So for those of you who struggle making ropes, you know what I'm talking about. So even show ski tack or HDPE, you still have to stretch a couple times to get it to stay where you want. So that often means making ropes during the winter, stretching them multiple times, you know, in the spring when you can, like with a truck tied to a tree and that kind of thing. But then they got to get used, and you're going to have to retie them to get them evened up again, and you certainly want to make sure they're, you know, even before a tournament. So show ski tack, HDPE, pretty much the way to go for anything. I would make main lines out of this. I would make handle sections, almost all handle sections, just regular handles, doubles handles, trios handles, pre-built base, you know, those kinds of strap type handles I would make out of this. That would be show ski tack, HDPE. In the description below this, there will be a link where you can find a PDF document that is updated at least once a year with locations to find this material and some pricing information and that kind of stuff. So you probably want to go check that out. It'll be more accurate than this video is and more up to date. So that's show ski tack and HDPE. Then there is HTPE. It's a variant. It's another polyethylene product. It's typically a little cheaper, and the braking strength is just a little less, not much. They're really close to each other, but you know, from feeling it, it definitely feels different. The weave is not as dense in this, and it tends to take longer to get into a stretch position where it stays stretched. So again, a variant on poly-E or polyethylene rope. You know, if you can't find anything else, it's okay to use. For sure, just know that you're going to have to work it a little bit longer to get it where you need it to. Then there's poly-P, or polypropylene. And this tends to be the older ski rope. We have to go back a lot of years to when this was about the only thing you could get. Still this day, it's if you go to your local fleet farm and buy a water ski rope or just some generic sporting goods store, they're probably going to be made out of poly-P or polypropylene. There's a reason for that. It's cheaper. And so these ropes tend to be very stretchy, very rubber bandy. They will stretch out even after a number of uses. They will stretch out and they will still snap back. And for most of what we do in show skiing, we don't want that. That's bad. So we don't want to use poly P in most instances. However, there is one place where it does have some benefits. Poly P is typically good for making braids. Braids of all kinds. It's easier to work with. It's a little bit more malleable, so it's easier to braid. Poly E, also, the other stuff I showed, also tends to have a waxy coating on it when it's brand new, and that waxy coating never truly disappears even after years of use, and it can be more slippery to grip in your hand. So if you are making braids, I would suggest Poly P. This is really what 3-event skiers use a lot, is Poly P, because they want that rebound and stretchy effect. But it's a good thing to make braids out of. That's about the only thing in show skiing that I would use it for. Now, what I don't have here is the more expensive ones, like Spectra and Spectra variants, or what are often called cable ropes and stuff like that. So a couple of things, and even I've heard some people making ropes out of Amsteel. So here's some pros and cons. First of all, it's a personal preference. I would never bulk produce your ski team's ropes out of those exotic fibers. First of all, they are really expensive. I mean, we're talking, orders of magnitude more expensive than the stuff I've just shown you. Even Amsteel, which has come down in price, as more and more people are manufacturing it, it's still 3 to 4 times the price of, say, a good Poly E. Spectra is even more expensive than that. So for your individual rope, if you are a performance swiveler, you are an individual competitive swiveler, and you want to get Spectra and you want to spend that money, by all means. You will get the best rope out there that has no stretch to it whatsoever, but it does take some adjustment. That means you have no give and no stretch coming off the dock. If that's what you like and prefer, great. Same thing for competitive doubles couples. If that is what you prefer and you want that really hard hit off the dock with no stretch, and as you are lifting, you want no rebound on that rope whatsoever, more power to you. Go spend the money and make yourself a rope out of Spectra or Amsteel. But just know you're going to pay for it, and it has that no stretch to it. Some people like it, some don't. But when we're talking about the massive ski ropes for your team, that stuff's just way too expensive for that. Amsteel certainly has its place, but that's more for trunks and leaders and boat harnesses kind of thing. Really, you're looking for just about everything. Like I started this video, you're looking for a good Poly E or polyethylene product. Check out that link in the description below, again, for pricing and places to purchase and stuff like that. I am not promoting any company at all. It's just, here's where I'm aware of that you can get it, and for a decent price.